What I mostly saw were the teacher meetings, site council meetings, and witnessed students who felt empowered enough to voice their opinions in their school. It reminded me of the students as colleagues model. In this model, the students get to accept responsibility for making connections between classrooms and communities, challenging their own status as privileged members of society, and questioning the role and structure of higher education as an institution preparing youth for citizenship in a democracy. The open mic night they held on Election Day 2008 is a prime example of this commitment from Sunnyside to empower their students. Each student was able to vote for their president, then go up on stage and rant and rave about whatever was on their minds. Sunnyside not only engages in open mic night at school to create leaders, they also encourage leadership in their local community. Principal Taylor told me that Sunnyside is community driven and facilitates this notion by getting her students out to play an active role in their neighborhoods. Three main projects at Sunnyside are working at the Methodist Church down Taylor Street, cooking for the neighborhood, and working with adults and creating relationships with their teachers. The racial diversity among faculty at Sunnyside is low, but being in an urban neighborhood, the racial diversity among students is astounding, and I really enjoy listening to them interact with each other. A great example of this is the music played by the students during the middle school lunch hour. Everyone shares a guitar and sits in a circle during or after they've eaten and jam out. I think this leads to a better understanding between the students that even though their backgrounds, even in music, are different, they can all learn and share with each other while in or outside of the classroom. Sunnyside has a vision that transcends racial or gender differences. In all of my time spent observing in the hallways, classrooms, gardens, lunchroom, and playgrounds, I was wondering in the back of my mind how attending the board meetings and listening to the different ballot measures gave me incredible sensitivity towards the children at Sunnyside. I wasn't thinking about how the measures affected a mass of people. I was looking at my favorite little kindergartner, CJ, or the talkative fifth grader, Joey, and how they would affect their freedom and how it would affect their freedom, their free education someday. It became important to me in more ways than one. CJ is a wonderful little Filipino boy who speaks 2 languages at the tender age of 5. His kindergarten teacher encourages him to speak his native language with his classmates because the heritage and culture there is so amazing and educational. I wondered how he would do later in life if Measure 58 passed. CJ is lucky to be in a school that celebrates his ethnic background. Then I thought about Joey and the way he comes dressed to school each day and the lack of care he seems to get at home. I support Measure 2694 because of kids like him, even though I was not able to vote for that measure in Portland. Without the before and after school programs and mentor programs, Joey might have a much different life. Perhaps he wouldn't have a life that was productive and nurturing. The smile on his face and the energy he has after eating a free lunch that includes a healthy portion of fruit or vegetable is proof of why these measures were put in place and why they should stay in place. I have become very sensitive to the issues facing our students because I got to know some of them very well. I was someone who showed up once or twice a week and planted bulbs in the gardens or stood with them in the lunchroom to help them sort out their recycling during lunch, but I also became someone they looked up to. How could I let them down by voting for something so detrimental to their immediate or long-term futures?